Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how the brain is working and firing when students are learning to read. So if you take a look at this brain, let's say this is the left hemisphere. This is obviously the front of the brain, and this is the back. Most of our language work is done in the left hemisphere. There are three main parts that we are going to look at today. The first thing we're going to take a look at is, your phonological processor up here. This part in the front, in the frontal lobe, is where your brain stores speech sounds. So it's your phonological processor. We know that in the English language there are 44 phonemes or speech sounds. And this is where we do all the hearing and articulating up in the front. Then we have the orthographic processor in the back, which is where your brain recognizes print. So you are recognizing the sounds in the front in your phonological processor, and then in the back is where you're recognizing print and symbols in your orthographic processor. As we know, there are 26 letters in the English language, but those 26 letters can be combined in more than 250 different ways, which we call graphemes, to represent these 44 sounds. So already things are getting complicated. We have 44 sounds, but it's represented in many, many different ways. So our goal as teachers is to develop both these parts of the brain. We want to make sure that their phonological processor is secure, they're able to differentiate speech sounds, manipulate speech sounds. This is where the phonological and phoneme awareness comes in. And then obviously the orthographic side, we need to make that connection to the graphemes. And then these two are connected through the part of your brain called the angular gyrus. So they talk to each other through the angular gyrus. If you are spelling the speech, you hear the sound through the phonological processor, it goes to the angular gyrus to connect to print. When you're reading, you start with print, and it connects back to the phonological processor to put the sound with it. So we can kind of call this the bridge that's connecting the two. Once you've connected those two, you've decoded the word, you have your language comprehension piece. This is something that can be developed and worked on without the other two, just through conversations and having a language-rich environment in your classrooms. The main goal here is to get to have a strong orthographic processor and store words in your sight word bank. We can call this the visual word form area, is around here. And that's kind of where we store our sight words. So like I said, the goal is for all words to be sight words so we can recognize them quickly and not have to decode every word. So this is just a quick model of how your brain works when it's reading. If you look at this picture, you can see in this top, the top section up here, this is a student who is a poor decoder. They're in the 9th percentile for decoding. You can see their phonological processor up here is working really hard. And there's not a lot going on in the connection right here between phonological and orthographic. And the right hemisphere is also working just as hard. But if you look down in the bottom picture, you can see that once they've strengthened decoding, the real work is happening here, where they're connecting the phonological processing and the orthographic processing. So again, this was just a quick overview, but stay tuned for more newsletters for more information about how this all works.